Hey guys, so after my last couple of videos, I kept thinking about what I wanted to upload first. A video describing the story behind my Ode to the Loners, my Pride AU, or a video regarding Hell of a Boss. Well, as you can see from this video, I chose none of those. It's strange how your point of view can switch so fast with just a little bit of exposure to other opinions. My last video might have claimed episodes 9 and 10 of my Pride as masterpieces, but upon further inspection and looking at other videos, I can now definitely see several potential problems with it. So my decision changed to A, a video about me bitching about these problems, or B, a video in which I rewrote the two episodes. I honestly don't think I have a right to bitch about the series with how much my channel has grown from it. Plus, I see enough of those videos out there as it is, so I chose to rewrite episodes 9 and 10 of my Pride. This idea was definitely inspired by Tenelle Flowers from when she rewrote Power of Three from the book series Warrior Cats. Check it out in the description below. So, how do I fix some of these problems? Well, let's start with episode 9. The start of the episode, I say, was fine other than Fire's awkwardness that totally wasn't warranted. Like, why, man? You loved this cub. You even said something along the lines of, wow, look how fast your mane is growing out, or something like that. So why not at least mention that again, like, wow, look at that mane. I knew you would make it. So that would be the first change. Feather's standoffishness does actually make a lot of sense, since if it hadn't been for Fire, his family might still be alive. But Feather doesn't full-on hate him or get needlessly aggressive over a goddamn name. Speaking of which, a lot of people got pissed off about Feather's speech to nothing about her name. I honestly found Feather's speech nice and heartfelt at first, but yeah, I think they missed the mark this time. I see what they were trying to go for, but the execution wasn't the best. You see, because nothing seemed to have no problem with Fire proposing a name change, to give her a fair chance at a name that actually identifies her strengths. Hell, she's happy, look at that face. It was Feather who didn't like it and went all emo like a little bitch, and then nothing grew an attachment to her name? Nah. What I would have is nothing showing discomfort with the idea of changing her name, but doesn't say anything. Fire doesn't pick up on this, but Feather does, so he asks for a moment of privacy to ask her what's wrong. This would show it was Nothing's choice in keeping her name, and also show how far her relationship with Feather has come in comparison to Fire's. Together they realize that Nothing doesn't want to change her name, and that she's grown attached to it, and that it's part of her now. When Feather tries to ask why she would have such a connection to something that spells her out as worthless to the whole world, her reasoning is different than, it means brave, kind, and strong. That usually works, but not here. Here I would make the reasoning something along the lines of, my name is a reminder of how messed up Pride law is, and until we fix society, I refuse to fix my name. I need this reminder that my own mother saw me as nothing because of this twisted, evil system that we've normalized. Or, I embrace this name as part of my struggles. It's a scar, and since I'm now prideless, I own and take pride in this scar. It's a significant symbol of how far I've come for something that's nothing. I can't just erase the scar by earning another name. And with this pride Fire's onto, maybe I can share my story and my struggles through my name. Also, speaking of said pride, why the utter hell does Nothing want to take part in helping Fire kill a mane? She's the character that should be the most hysteric about even suggesting such a thing, so why? Did she forget Kansu's message to her? Did she forget how unfair Pride law was? Plus, helping Fire win is basically cheating. The thing Quickmane was accused of? It just seemed entirely out of character and really ignorant, and maybe even stupid. Sure, Nothing has made stupid decisions in the past, but she isn't a stupid character. Now, I have found a way around this issue. See, I remember from the lore video that a no mane can win a pride by A, killing the current mane, or B, forcing that mane to surrender and leave the territory. What if Fire convinces Nothing and Feather to watch under the assumption that he's going to force the other mane to surrender and leave? They both hesitantly agree. During the fight, Barkmane gets stuck between two rocks and can't move, already bleeding heavily. To Feather and Nothing's horror, Fire goes to kill him anyway. And just like in the episode, a PTSD attack happens for both Nothing and Feather. Sure, Feather wasn't there when Proudmane took over, but that doesn't make the trauma of your family being murdered any easier. Before Fire can finish him off, Nothing relives her memory and leaps at Fire's face, forgetting her injury and the fact that she isn't a cub anymore. She ends up knocking Fire backwards into a rock that damages his shoulder bone, making him unable to move one of his front legs. He's, of course, infuriated by this and screams at her as she's in a dazed, confused state. Feather rushes to her defense, but not before Barkmane dies of blood loss from the multiple critical wounds given by Fire. Seeing this, Fire insists that they come back with him despite Nothing injuring him. He still loves her and takes advantage of the fact that Nothing literally can't remember what the hell just happened. Feather is so filled with rage that he can't seem to find his words, not until he realizes that Nothing and Fire are walking into view of the Pride. He follows, but before he can get a word into Nothing, Fire does his little announcement. He's convinced Nothing that what she saw must have been her imagination and trauma coming back to haunt her. Barkmane died of blood loss before he could surrender. Of course. Still being a bit disorientated, Nothing believes it for the time being. She does take a little issue with how Fire phrases his announcement to the other lionesses in the Pride, but ignores it. Also, the Pride doesn't flat out refuse him at the beginning. Like, why that happened in the episode, I will never know. But don't just say, I do not accept you as my main. I would just kind of go, hold the phone, who are they? Yeah, you own this Pride now, but you also have to follow Pride law regarding outsiders too. As this awkward exchange is happening between Moonstrike and Fire, Nothing starts coming to her senses a little more, and Fire finally catches her attention to tell her what's going on. Then they both hear something to the effect of, wait, that male lion isn't your son? You know you gotta kill him, right? And we still get that same cliffhanger. Now, in episode 10, the tension is much higher. Since we know even more than before, Fire will kill Feather. Nothing screams to run even before Fire can get close, and Nothing and Feather both run. As Fire gains on them, still having more willpower and a leg not as badly busted as Nothing's, Nothing stops, knowing that she's slower, and actually blocks his path this time, differently to when she just kinda stood there in the original. Fire slams into her and knocks her out from the sheer amount of force to her body. This way, it actually makes a lot of sense for Feather to have a fake-out death. Fire killed Barkmane, shouldn't he have enough bite power to kill Feather? And how the hell did he even get away? It just makes a lot more sense if it's assumed that Fire killed him, when in reality, Feather did the same thing Fire did when he was a cub. He hid and was never found. When Nothing wakes up, she's being tended to by the other lionesses of the Pride. She immediately gets up and demands to know where Feather is. Fire says the same thing he did in the original about her needing to rest and how she'll get over it. She challenges him for his pride and again gets her ass handed to her, despite the fact that Fire also sort of has a gimpy leg. But not before blinding Fire in one eye, similarly to how she blinded Quickmane. The lionesses don't know what to do since it's clear Fire cares for her, but won't choose her over Pride law. Nothing prepares to fight again, maybe saying like, you killed my fucking son, I have no reason to live, instead of, my name is Nothing! Ghost comes from Nothing, and we get that terrifying scene where we figure out how Tangle actually died. And about Fire being a monster, I honestly kind of expected it. He was a snot from the beginning, and only put in an effort to care for Nothing to make himself feel better about having his tiny ass saved by a girl. He genuinely loves her, it seems, especially since she's pretty much the only family he has left, but not to the point of leaving behind Pride law. He only brought her out to the stretch to show her off to his friends for bragging rights because they probably didn't believe him when he said, oh yeah, my sister defeated a no-main as a cub. He's always kind of leeched off of others. He would have been dead if it hadn't been for Nothing, Tangle again, and Feather's help in the original episode. So yeah, I don't think Fire is a full-on monster or a villain, just a product of Pride law and how it can shape a lion's mindset. After the credits, show Feather sneaking and tracking Nothing just to come to where her tracks end, just like before. Anyway, that's all I have for you for now. See you on the other side!
Let's play main and no main, Fire.